Hello everybody, so today we have the new Thomas Classic 2025 3-packs. I'm going to review each one as a separate video because you're crazy if you think I'm not milking this out for 4 separate videos. So yeah, I guess it only makes sense to start off with Thomas, so I'll move these guys to the background and maybe you'll see them throughout. But like everyone does, let's take a look at the box first. We got a nice 80th logo over there. I kind of wish this was like a separate thing. Like I remember on the 75th anniversary stuff, it was a separate like emblem. And I kind of wish that carried on to this, but you know what? It's still fine. I'm guessing if this continues, they'll probably just remove this out. The back is, again, really bad. We learned nothing from this. It's just a whole bunch of languages and whatever. But doesn't take away from the toy. On the top, we have Thomas himself, and then on the side, we have an arc chrome of Thomas. And I don't like the arc chromos, but this one actually isn't too bad. It looks quite nice. But yeah, with all that being said, let's get this open. Try to... I don't know why I never bring scissors to open these boxes. I brought scissors like once, and then I stopped. Makes it so much harder because now I have to manhandle this. I have an instruction booklet over here. Take a look at that real quick. This is the only time I'm going to take a look at the instructions because they're all going to be the same. So I'm wondering if they replaced the AEG image. So we'll see that in a second. Yeah, they have. That's CJ Thomas and the actual Thomas himself. It looks like it's Trackmaster 2 though, so this might just be a reprint of the Trackmaster 2 or early Motorized instructions, but still, whatever. Alright, we got him out his prison. Let's go. Alright, let's give this a look. We have Thomas himself, and man, this is so nice. I already looked at a Thomas like this in the set review, so if you want more in-depth thoughts, go check that out. And you want more comparisons and stuff, go check that out. But yeah, it's just as good as when I saw it in the set. I really thought I wasn't gonna like these eyes pointing up here, but actually I don't mind it. It actually looks quite nice, and it doesn't look as awkward from other angles as I thought it would. Real quick, I'm going to get the set Thomas out right now, and you can just see the differences there. Different face. I do still prefer this face, but I actually don't mind this face too much. Yeah, pretty much the same aside from the face. And as I was talking about, I still don't like the dirt detailing. I wouldn't mind it if it was at least explained on the box, but it isn't, and I think that's really unfortunate, but what can you do? I've seen a lot of these though with misprinted eyes, but it looks like mine isn't too bad, at least, if I get that in focused. I think the Talking Thomas is pretty bad at that too. And if you haven't seen the set review, I'll compare it with a Tomy Thomas real quick. This is the Railway Series Thomas, and you can just see both are great in their own regard. See there? Yeah, it's very nice. Now let's talk about what I think is the more interesting part of the pack, and it's the trucks. Now I know a lot of people don't like the Trackmaster 2 trucks just because they're a little bit smaller than what came previously, and if I come over here, I'll get an older Trackmaster 2 truck. But honestly, I think I prefer the smaller look, at least for the trucks. I know for the coaches it looks kind of bad, but for these trucks, I think the small look looks really nice. And the molded face definitely makes it just that little bit better. Apart from that, both of them come with their own separate cargo loads, which is very nice. Granted, they're just the same, but different colors, but still. Even in Tomy days, they wouldn't give trucks loads for some reason, but so it's nice to see them do it now. And just for some comparison, I have a truck from the Percy Takes a Plunge thing. Or something I forgot to mention, it has rust detail and like just normal handrail detail, which is incredibly nice. You can see on this truck here, I kind of tried to do something almost like that, but it didn't turn out the best. But still, I don't know if this was me, but it has like a little chip in the tooth. I don't know if I did that or what, but you know what, whatever. It makes the trucks more individual, I guess. Now we have an all-engines go truck to compare to. You can see this one's quite a bit bigger, and I think it might just be because of this running board, but both have pretty great detail. Now what I'm wondering is how much of these parts are cross-compatible. You can see here this truck has a new chassis to all these ones, so I'm curious if you can like put the new chassis on some of the old ones. So I'm gonna unscrew this real quick. I haven't seen anyone else do this, so I think it'll be pretty interesting. So here's the chassis itself. Things are falling everywhere, but you see it's not like a pure black, because for some reason Mattel just doesn't do that much pure black stuff anymore, which, you know, I guess is not the worst looking thing ever, and to most people they don't even really tell. And here's the face itself off the thing. It just slots in here like that, and it's pretty much held in by friction. Now let's get this guy open. Now this guy, if I remember correctly, he works on like 3 pieces. It's the bottom chassis piece itself, and also the running board is its own separate piece, and then it's the truck. Whereas the new one, or at least the ones previously and the new one, they only work on 2 chassis. So that's why I'm thinking it's not gonna really work, but yeah. You can see the difference there. It could. No, the pegs are a little bit too long, so I think you could definitely like cut them a bit and make them fit in, but you could just see there. Now what I'm wondering is, does the face fit at least? No, I don't think it will, because you can see here they both have 2 different style of face connectors, so it's unfortunate, but whatever. It does fit in like that at least, and I think that actually looks quite nice. But once you actually try to put it in, you would have to cut the pegs under here to actually get it to fit in. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to put them back to normal real quick. Oh, you know what? I didn't check out this one, so let me open this one real quick. Alright, we got to open there, and let's get this truck. I think it actually could maybe work. This one's incredibly dusty. I don't know why. And it does. Kind of? Maybe? Yeah, it does. It totally does. And let's put the yellow truck back on these. Sorry my arm's getting in the way. This is a very low camera angle. And it can, sort of. Yeah, it can. So it's nice to see that sort of cross-compatibility with at least these trucks. And I think for some things it might be cool to do, but I'm not gonna leave it like that, because I do prefer the new chassis. But interesting, you have the option there at least. If I had the gray truck from the Cranky set, or not the Cranky set, I think it was either the Windmill or the Herald one that came out really late in Trackmaster 2 or Motorized. My freaking fingers are getting in the shot. I'm sorry. But if I had the gray truck from that set, I would have swapped the chassis, because I do really like that truck, but I never bought the set when it was around, and I'm sure now it's probably pretty sought after, because it was only released for a pretty short period of time. You know what? I just realized I unintentionally put the wrong face in. I put the older face in instead of this one, but I actually kind of like the older face, so I might keep that for now, because I just don't feel like unscrewing this again. But you know, there's gonna be just like a mental note for myself, because I'm not gonna remember what face came from what. I guess the last thing I should mention is these trucks don't wobble around like the sort of later era Trackmaster 2 ones, and even the early All Engines Go ones, which I actually really like. I don't like the wobbling feature, because I think it looks kind of weird on layouts, and I went through the, like, not effort, but I went through and took out all the wobbling wheels from my other Troublesome trucks. So it's nice to see I don't have to do that here. It's just, that's how it comes stock, which is very nice. But I know a lot of people like that feature. I just personally don't really. Now really, I just wish I had some more trucks, you know. This would be a very nice train to hook up to Thomas. I just wish I had more trucks. I just dropped Thomas. Yep, we have a second one to open. Let's get this open. Here we have Thomas and the trucks again. Okay, it does look like my other one was a fluke, because this one doesn't really have the tooth chip, but it does have a little chip right here on the chin, which is unfortunate. You can just see the differences a little bit more clearly, because this, I'm sorry, I'm not getting that in shot. This is the old face that I accidentally put on the new one, but yeah, you can see there. And we have another one of these trucks, which is very nice. Also, I forgot to mention the cargo is compatible with the All Engines Go like peg things, so that's nice. And look at that, the 4 trucks is so nice, but you know, I kind of wish I had more. Now, I'm not going to open this. I'm going to keep this new in box for now, but I probably will open it eventually, and you'll see why in a later video. But see, now what I do want to do is compare this Thomas's for just to see the like quality control here. It does look like this one over here has slightly too high window decaling, where this one is just right on the window. I don't know which one's correct, but it does look like the printing here is like slightly slanted. I don't know if I'm going crazy there, but that's not really coming through the best on camera. But stickers are pretty much the same. Face, this one definitely has a worse face. If you can see there, this one's got like a little printing error. If I get that on camera, you can see like a little speck there, where this one doesn't have that. So I guess this one is automatically the better one. It really is unfortunate. I think Mattel's print quality just isn't very good, so you get a lot of these errors, and it's honestly more hard to find a like regular sort of normal one. Now, what I did promise though is I would try to remove the shell itself from the running board, which seems like it was possible, but I didn't know if it would break the model or not, and I didn't really want to break my only Trackmaster 2025 item. But now that I have two, and now that one's like a slight factory defect, I'm more comfortable doing this. And this is not advice to like go destroy your toys just so you can take off the running board. This is purely just a test, and it's really just so people don't do it themselves. Just see, if you're curious, you could just watch this video and see what happens. You're like, oh, that happens. That's cool. Because, you know, while I don't mind, like, tearing up these toys, because at the end of the day, they're probably going to go to, like, customs and parts and stuff, just because that's how it works. But I don't really know what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, don't blame me for breaking your toys. It's weird sound there. Some weird sounds going on. I'm thinking it's just glued in, and really if it's glued in, it shouldn't be that hard to like just rip it apart. Oh, well, I broke it. That's what happens when you try to remove the running board. You break it. It looks like though, yeah, there's a little screw, but hold on. I'm gonna do something real quick. So you can do it, you just break the toy. Which, you know, it's unfortunate, but I'm sure there's a cleaner way to do it, like if you use more tools. But that was just like testing it out, seeing what will work and what wouldn't. I'm gonna try to take the smoke box off too, because that also had a screw. Now it looks like this is like really glued in or something, or at least pretty friction fit in there, because this doesn't want to come out. I've seen it like sort of do it, but in that case, this is actually pretty well built, because at least when you take off the screws, you can't really do too much to it. But it is unfortunate, because I would like to, and I'm sure many other fans would like to, they just like swap out the molds and stuff, but you know, I'm pretty sure people have come through and cut this face, so that's really not the biggest deal ever. It's just a running board, which I haven't seen too many people do. That isn't just painted themselves, which is probably the easier option, because if you do try to disassemble it, you'll get something like this. And I got it back in, but you can see now there's a huge plastic distress mark. So I guess all in all, don't try this at home. Don't do this, because if you're not being careful enough, and mine, I tried to do like a pretty realistic like thing. Like if a child had this and opened this up, they would probably just try to rip it apart with their hands. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is don't do that. Don't do this at home. This stupid truck is bothering me because the face is slightly more yellow than all the other ones. So I might need to go back and change the face, because this is kind of this is a thing only I noticed. I'm sure it's not even coming through that well on camera, but I can't stand it. Now real quick, I am gonna swap the face because it's annoying me now. So let's get the ugly truck over here and let's swap it out. I'm wondering if this mine's just yellowed over time, or is the person who takes the plunge set just really had that yellow truck face. Alright, yeah, we just did a lot there, but all in all, this pack is great and easily the best pack of this set. Not only is the Thomas amazing, but these trucks are very, very good. And I'd say get like 2 or 3 of these if you want like a really nice train. I'd get 10 of these if I could. So yeah, this pack is amazing, and I really do recommend to get it. Even if you don't use these style of trains in your like Tomy stuff, these trucks are going to be perfect for that. They blend in with Tomy just about as well as anything else. So yeah, with that all being said, let's get these all on the layout and let's give them a run. Alright, we got Thomas here connected to his 4 cars, which really makes me want to open up the third one, because 4 cars looks good, but 6 cars would look amazing. But anyways, we also got a brake van, because with all these Troublesome trucks, we obviously need a brake van. But let's set them off. I haven't switched his coupling yet, which I will do later on. I will also be switching out his motor, because this one, yeah, the trucks are making a lot of noise, but this one is also quite noisy and not that fast. To be fair, it's rechargeable, but again, the green top motor just works a little bit better in my opinion. I don't know how long this is going to be, because I've already ran this Thomas technically with the set video, so I don't know. The other ones will probably be longer, but I'm going to let this go on for a few more times. You know, that eye position has really grown on me. I don't mind it too much. I think these trucks will look really good with the old scale stuff, because obviously they're still scaled to that. So once you get like an old Tomy Thomas or something, they'll look really nice. And I think we're going to just stop it there. That's a pretty short running session, but again, I have ran this already with the set video. Just technically a different version over here, but yeah. Thank you all for watching. Go watch the next video, which I don't know when it's coming out. I don't really know what the upload schedule will be for these will be like. It might be once a week or twice a week. I don't know. Anyways, thanks. Bye.